now that Bob sat down. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just picking on Bob. He was picking on me earlier, so I had to get back at some point. But good morning. We'll go ahead and get started. I've heard we have a lot of slides. I won't give you the whole number, but there's a lot of slides to be able to go through. But we have Garry Jones here this morning, and thank you. And he's a missionary to India. He's going to give us a report, and then of course later on he'll be able to do the lesson for us in worship. But excited to be able to have them here this morning. But we'll go ahead and get started since it's already. I'm putting behind 2 minutes by clicking buttons, so we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, Garry. Whichever way you want this, it's the down button here, or the arrow to the right. Okay, good.
You go back, if I want to go back, I just back.
Yes, do the back.
I can figure this out.
It's all right.
Good morning. Good to be here. Cindy, I always enjoy coming here. It's been a couple of years, so we've missed being here last year, so we're very glad to be back with you and update you on our work in India. What I want to do this morning, as quick as I can, do a survey of the work, going back from the very beginning, and let you see the transition of our work over the last 17, I guess moving into 18 years now that we've been in India. And you'll see how we've grown and matured and reaching the point that I hope it'll become an Indian work here within a year or so. And so I appreciate all your support and all the things you've done to make that happen. You've been very supportive of this work for many years. So, what am I doing here? This button here. Oh, okay.
All right, that's right.
Okay. We'll start all over real quickly. Again, thank you for that we're allowed to be here. Let me talk about our work and do a survey of the work as quickly as we can so you can see the progress that we have made. And I always sort of begin, this was one of the very first charts I showed years ago. The numbers have changed a little bit, but when you talk about India, you're talking about a huge part of the world's population. Actually, 1 out of every 6 people on the earth is an Indian. Okay? So that's 1 out of every 6 people we might walk across in this country. Predominantly a very large population of people here in India. But if you take all these countries, there's a lot of them, USA, Canada, Mexico, a lot of countries, put them all together, they don't equal the population of India. And so when you talk about doing mission work in India, you're talking about a massive amount of people that you're working in a small area that we do in Northeast India. And I want to thank you as always for all the things you've done, contributions, supporting the children, and the things you've helped in special building projects that we've had over the years. I just thank you so much for all that you've done. And people sometimes say, why are you in India? Many places to go in the world. And sure there are. We need missionaries everywhere, particularly in this country right now. But I chose India mainly because of the population, because of the religion that they were involved in, which is so corrupt and so demeaning to the people themselves. But let me share some pictures of the temples that are in India. There's so many of them. There are tens of thousands of these temples, humongous temples throughout all of India, from Chennai, well, everywhere in India. These are massive temples that you see. It costs a fortune to construct. And these temples, I've seen these temples in my travels. Just temples everywhere with a god sitting inside the temple, never more than one god in a temple. And you can see some of the pictures of the temples, and then here's some of the gods coming up. And this is not Shiva, this is Krishna here, the boy there. Comes in many colors. The most popular god in India is Krishna. And there's tens of thousands of gods in India. You can have any kind of god you want. Depends on what type of worship you want to be involved in. If you have a fearful worship, then you will worship the God that's over death and over punishment. You will worship that, but you may not be punished. They have all types of gods for anything you can ever imagine. And you can see they've got, there's another one, Shiva there, and you see in the middle there, that's the god of money and the god of business, humanon. We get the word human from it in the languages and so forth. A very powerful God. Just many, many, many different gods that you see here. The one in the middle there, I would stay away from, I think. These are Buddhists, and where I'm at, in my region, many Buddhists are there. A lot of them are Tibetan Buddhists. In fact, so many tens of thousands of Tibetan refugees live in our area and have for many years now. India has become their homeland. They actually have been made citizens of India. They'll never go back to Tibet. It doesn't exist. But their religion is with them. And we've had great success among the Chakmal Buddhists. and converting them over the years. They're across the river from my work. We cross over on a boat and spend time in those villages and have a lot of success among the Buddhist people and the things that we do. So let me begin with the beginning. Back in 2007 is when we began this work, and just take you all the way through as quick as I can to where we're at today. We began, of course, in 2007 building the old mustard seed village. We built it out of bamboo that we cut out of the jungle, floated down the river, brought it over at night because this is illegal bamboo we're cutting. And then we began to take it apart and lay it out like this, and then we weave it together after we build a simple foundation to put these orphan homes on. And you can see the buildings come together. And this was the old original buildings. These don't exist anymore. I've had them all taken down. This land we don't use anymore. I still have it leased, but that lease ends up at the end of this year. But we had many wonderful times there. We were there from 2007 to 2012 at the old Mustard Seed Village. And you can see the picture of it being taken from one of the water towers. This is our first group of orphans that came to me. I got about 19 that came walking through the gate at the same time. I just got the gate put up. And so it was interesting to have all these kids come in. These come through the jungle, up from Gandhigram, Vijayanagar, Three Corner Mile, many names where they came from, right on the Chinese border. They look Chinese. They are Lisu. Lisu originated out of China. And these were my very first group. All these kids are grown and gone now. Every one of these, about 2 of these I see on the front bench. I have them in college right now. Here's just some pictures of the first kids that we had. You can see them lined up there on the little cottage that I was living in. And just some different pictures of them. Kids like to have their pictures made. And again, these kids are all grown now. Here's some of the boys. One on the bottom right is Sivasar. He's been with me a long time. He's a blind boy. Also has many mental problems. So, I just graduated him from his visually handicapped school. He's gone as far as he could go. He can count to 30, which is really good. Okay. And so I've given him a job in the kitchen. He's very excited about working for me now, so he'll clean the tables. He can do that totally blind. He can set the table, clean it, everything. And so he'll have a job with us as long as he lives. These are Raki and Rasha. I want you to see their pictures then. You know, there's 2 little girls. But now here, you'll see them as they grow up here in a moment. Here I'm gathering the children. Children come to me from all kinds of places. I get calls from Gumroys, mayors in the village, whatever you want to call them. Please come and pick up this child. We have the parents are dead. A lot of times parents die at the same time from malaria, typhoid, dengue, or something like that. And I go and pick up these kids. A lot of times it's a mother, like this little girl in the green there. Her name is Binu, in the little green dress. I got her. She's probably 4 or 5 years old. The mother put her hand in my hand and walked away, never to see her again, because she wanted to marry another man. And the men say, "I will marry you, but you get rid of the kids." No man will marry another woman who has other men's kids. They just won't do it. And so she gave me those kids to me. This is Sujata and her brother there. I did not recognize that picture, Mom. When I first went to get her at a village in Bihar. And so they have grown up. Now, go back to the little picture in the green there. I'm holding her. I want you to see how she's developed over the years in my school, okay, and in our work. She's been baptized into Christ, very strong Christian young lady. But you can see her mature, grade by grade, all the way up to one of the latest pictures that I have of her. And that's what we do for these kids. They come to us with nothing, you know. And so we take them and mold them and shape them and feed them and take care of them and educate them in God's Word and in academic subjects. And it makes such a difference in their lives. They actually have a future that they can look forward to. This is our first school at Old MSV, just a simple building that began our school back in 2008, I think we began the school year. See some of the classrooms and some of the pictures of the kids as they work. These are some old pictures. There's Afu holding his little Bible. Afu's probably 20 years old now. And you see the other 3 boys being punished. They have to get on their knees and pull on their ears until teachers tell them to quit. But that's been stopped by the government, by the way. So not much you can do with it. Here's some of the kids just swinging in the old playground. I've had 3 playgrounds built. Just built the latest one that's required by law to have in the school ground. Exercise, we do exercise 4:30 every morning. We've always done that from 2007. Even tomorrow morning, this is like 7 o'clock at night, Sunday night, in India right now where I'm at. And you can, Ladies' Day, we've had several of these. Cindy's there. She's there to teach with several of the girls from Oklahoma. Other places came over, did Ladies' Days and Sisters' Days for us. And so you see them. Cindy's doing a talk at the Molai Church of Christ, a woman's thing. Baptisms take place. We have a little baptistry we built there. I don't know how many people we put down in that baptistry, but kids are excited about what's going on. And they will listen and they will learn, and eventually, hopefully, their time will come some water to become a Christian. Do a lot of village evangelism. I like going into the villages, doing medical camps, and preaching and teaching. We do a lot of that. That's been slowed down by the government now. The government has me tied to my school. It will not let me leave my school area. The Army watches me carefully. So this has stopped for me, so I miss it very, very much. But we did a lot of village evangelism. I still send preachers out to do that, Indian preachers, but I can't go anymore. We travel by boat. There's a little dugout, a canoe that we use to get across the river among the Choctaw Indians to work among them. And we're in the jungle. You know, bad thing about it, you're sweating and pouring sweat. It's hot and humid in India, particularly this time of year. You can look up at the Outscout Mountains of the Himalayas and you just think, wow, I wish I could be standing there for a minute. You know? But you can see it, but you sure can't feel it. Here I'm doing preaching with translations in different villages, and always is baptism. There's a couple have been baptized under a Chinese fishing net years ago now. Do a lot of walking in the jungles to the different places to do camps and so forth. I'm on my way to Gandigram there, which is right on the Chinese border, to do some work. Takes a while getting used to those bridges, not like ours, but you can get across them. Here I'm traveling and stopping somewhere for the evening. This older man and woman, actually one of their great granddaughters is in my school right now. But they felt sorry for me and gave me a couple of fish and chicken, to eat on the way. So I think we finally ate them. We use elephants in travel in India. When we move into the jungle, it's the safest way you can go. There are no roads, anything. You're on these jungle trails, and elephants are very good in getting you through the jungle. So we use elephants in our travel. This one we call Jezebel. You might remember my story very years ago. She was, I was supposed to ride on her, but she would not let me get on her. Anyone else would get on her? Let this white foreigner get on me? Not going to happen. So he carried all our luggage, of course. That's what we did. We set our shelters up at night, whatever we can find in the jungle to make a place to get out of the rain. Worst thing there is you got to get all the leeches off of you every night. There's many leeches in the jungle. Many baptisms, of course, over the years. I have no idea how many, but many, many of them. There's some pictures of some baptisms taking place. There's a little congregation of Indians with me here. This is down below a place called Shillong. And this, I told this story, this picture may be 7, 8 years old, but all women's in this church. There's no baptized men. They have no interest, but the women come and bring their children. And so I went down there and preached a sermon there and all. It's the first sermon Cindy ever listened to, I think so. But, here I'm doing just a Bible study in the camp there, and many people are coming, sitting way out on the side for our preaching and teaching. There's all kinds of teaching opportunities. Main thing in India, you have to have a translator with you, unless you can find someone who speaks English, which you can, but it's very difficult in the jungle areas. Some more baptisms taking place. This is just a recent one here. Here we're dedicating a church building. We built a number of bamboo buildings, not many, but a number of them over the years. And we're dedicating this one here. This is in Karbi Anglong, which is southern Assam. There's an old brother that we baptized. He works for me now. He cleans our multi-purpose building and takes care of the lighting and things like that. So he's very helpful to us, and we give him a home. He had no place to go. You see more pictures of baptisms and so forth. This is a Nepal earthquake, 2015. I've done 3 earthquakes now, 1 tsunami, and untold numbers of flooding zones I've had to go and do work in. This is in Nepal, 2015, a massive earthquake. We decided to try to get to the epicenter. And so we traveled to Kathmandu and made arrangements, and the only road in Nepal, one big circular road, it's cracked all the pieces. So we had to, walk. We walked the creek beds to get there. We just followed the creek beds as far as we need to go, then started heading up the mountains to get to where the epicenter was. And we were one of the first people, the only ones there before us. The Chinese had dropped in some paratroopers, and they were working there when we got there. And just a lot of death there. A lot of people died in that earthquake. You make sure you have Vicks vapor rub under your nose as you walk through these places. And the rainy season's coming when this happens, and mudslides came. So a lot of people who escaped the earthquakes was buried in the mud. And so we're having to dig out some bodies here and so forth. There's a man there set up. This is in Bihar, not in the earthquake. We're doing I think there's 28 babies being born there that week that I was helping him in that clinic. UNICEF thing. Lots of medical missions. I've done untold numbers of them. You can see the crowds that will come, and they'll be there all day until you see them. Okay? And when they come to see you, they want to leave with some kind of medicine, whether they need it or not, you know. So you have some little sweet pills or something you can hand out to make sure they have something when they leave if they're not truly sick. And a lot of them are severely sick in many different ways. Flood zones, flood works, I've probably done, I don't know, maybe 30 different flood relief camps over the years. You can see what we do, hand out things that they need in the house, a bedding, a mattress, things of that nature. They might set back up their housekeeping. This is a flood zone in Bihar and so forth. Just doing medical clinics. These I set up in small villages, usually in a community center someone may have in a small village, and we just do a medical camp. This is Calcutta. The word Calcutta means city of joy. I never think of Calcutta as a city of joy. It's a city of 28 million people, you know, and such extreme poverty and people living on the streets and dying on the streets daily in Calcutta. Here you see a picture of the street of Calcutta. This is down toward the old front of Calcutta. And then that bridge there is known as the busiest bridge on earth. Over 1 million people a day go across that bridge. And it's a heavily traveled bridge. In the streets of Calcutta, you just see poverty everywhere. There's a little woman there with everything she owns there against the side of the road. I took the picture. I wondered, what is she thinking about? Of course, I couldn't talk to her. Some of them live in culverts, like you see there, that's been left on the side of the road. They'll make their home inside of a culvert or under the bridge or under a railroad, anywhere they can get under, and get a little bit of safety. That's where they will go and stay. This is this woman laying on that 1 million, walking across the bridge, just laying right there as I was coming across one end of it. And I watched the people. I stood back a little bit and just watched for a couple of minutes. And the people didn't even pay attention to her. They just, I guess she's there every day, I don't know. They just walk on by her, not one sense of compassion or help, or not a rupee thrown down at her feet, hardly at all. And so that's what you see in Calcutta. This man's dying on the street. I don't know, he's having a heart attack or whatever, but you see him dead on the street. You might remember, quote, Mother Teresa and her work in Calcutta. She's buried there, of course. But she lived and worked among these dying men primarily while she was in Calcutta for many years. And beggars on the street, and you have a beggar holding a little baby. It looks like a baby won't live much longer. You know, they're trying to get money from you. And where that baby comes from, I don't know. Where she comes from, I don't know. But someone's watching them. You know, they bring them in and train them to be beggars and make them look bad and put them on the street to beg. And they need to beg and bring money in if they want to get a little bit of rice before they go to bed at night. Those who live on the street, the girls and boys, they'll jump on the back of these big buses to catch rides from one part of Calcutta to the other, so they're pretty smart about figuring out how to get around the city. But it's sort of dangerous to jump on and off those buses. There's just people laying on the streets and walking in Calcutta. There's millions of God's children. This picture I got out too long ago. See the boy with his legs cut off? That could have been done. There's 100 trains that run in and out of Calcutta, one of the largest trail stations in the world. But more than likely, someone cut his legs off to make a better beggar out of him. And there's places you can go to have your child amputated to make a beggar, and there's not a crime to that. Even though the government says don't do it, people do it. And I look at that picture and think about what that little boy has a future for. Midwifery is very big for us. We have a midwife training camp and do clinics. We do a lot of midwifery. So there's, you can see some of the pictures going on of midwifery. Here I'm helping this other woman learn how to deliver a baby in a clean way. And she's a midwife just by being in the village all her life and helping to deliver, but she's very unclean. In India leads the world in women dying in childbirth and babies dying in childbirth because of the uncleanness of the birthing process. And so our kits that we've made have made such a difference. And I just got my last 3,000 was just shipped over, so I have 3,000 more to use over the next couple of years or so. So you can see some of the pictures of the babies. And, here I'm doing midwife training, teaching them how to use certain medical equipment, which they will take home with them so they can have it in the village, you know, having their classes, graduation. Here's two of the ladies receiving birthing kits. And this is up in Gandhigram. This is a medical camp, I call it primitive medical camp. You can see this flood relief. There's many things that we do. There's some baptisms that took place in the village that we spent about 2 weeks in. And Brother Simpson on my far right really is the teacher. He would translate me, but he's an excellent teacher by himself. And these are Adavasis, untouchables. They're tea pluckers. That's all they will do. They will pluck teas. Their children will pluck the tea. The grandchildren, all underneath this consortium. And so they don't have much hope in life. And you don't make much money plucking tea. This is the beginning of our school for boys. And I'm moving forward now to 2013 to the present. This is a MSV, Must See Village, for the boys, where the boys live, and the kitchen and everything there. Here's inside the hostel. We have 2 of these large hostels here. And this is one of them. Where they're on the beds that we make. Everything we pretty well have to make by hand ourselves. And you can see the boys. And, they always have their exercise in the morning, 4:30. They're out for exercise. And here they are in their kitchen, getting ready for a Devo every night. We have a Devo for the boys and the girls. Here they are getting ready to eat their rice and whatever else we can put on the plate. A picture of the dining hall that we just refurbished maybe a year ago. And this is Rainbow Village coming up. We started that in 2012 and continues to today. But we built all this out of wood from the jungle that was cut, taken to the sawmill, sawn, and brought to us. And so we didn't have time to let it dry, so we had to use sort of wet wood. But this is hardwood, teak, mahogany, those type of wood is what we're using. You see it coming together. It's a big, big building. It'll hold 125, 130 girls, plus 4 cottages for administrators to live adjacent to it. You can see it coming together. This is the roadway coming in the rainbow. We keep everything in rainbow colors. Rainbow is named after a little girl who was an Indian in California. Only lived 1 month. They named her Rainbow. And it was Glenn and James McCoy that basically built Rainbow Village for me. And we named it after that little girl that only lived about a month. So you see some pictures of the Rainbow Village. Here's some of the pictures of the girls wearing pillowcase dresses made somewhere in the USA. Some of these girls are blind, some of them not. They all love giving gifts. You know, we send things over in the crates. This is our first church building that we built at Rainbow Village. We haven't built Rainbow Village, right? We built the church building first so we'd have a presence there. And it didn't last long. We filled it up really quick and had to, once we got Rainbow built, then we went and moved to Rainbow. Now we moved to the multi-purpose building. Here are the girls in the Rainbow dining hall. They're doing a study period right now. Here are the girls plucking their tea in the tea garden that surrounds Rainbow Village all around us. And we might make maybe $10 a plucking tea. Get about $10 for it. So I did it more for the how it would look in the Rainbow Village within a tea garden more than anything. But we make a little money off of it. Girls working in the garden along with Tiochi and Matthew. And we have very good soil there, as you can see. And so we're able to grow a lot of good crops. This time of year is a little dangerous because we're at the height of the flooding season. And so much flooding is going on at Rainbow Village right now. So I think we've got most of our corn in. So that's not too bad. Always planting. We plant, harvest, refurbish the ground, and plant again. So we keep a year-round garden. You can see all the different things that we can grow there. The mushrooms do well. Chili peppers, I don't know why they grow that, but they do. Just many, many good crops. This is a truck I bought, I guess maybe 7, 8 months ago. We replaced the other one we had for about 10 years. And really helpful, we had to have that truck. Actually, my tractor's worn out. I need to replace that tractor, but time will tell. Our pigs are doing very well. We raise them and sell them. Every once in a while we'll eat one. But most of the time we sell them. People want to buy them for their marriages. If you're going to marry a woman, you must provide the biggest pig you can provide it that way. And put your care about your future wife is based a lot upon that pig you're buying. So it's sort of a tricky thing going on there. So they come from my pig. My pigs are clean, they're warmed. I give them a lump of charcoal about once a week, and they're well taken care of. So I get a good price for them. Chickens, egg layers, and also fryers. If you don't like that, we have all kinds of stuff you can eat. You're amazed at the type of food set in front of me in different places. That looks like a bowl of worms there, but probably pure protein, right, Garry?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you know after you try it?
Slimy yet satisfying.
Maggots is a huge thing. These are worms that live in the river banks, you know, and you just dig in there and get them out, and they wash it in the water, pop it right in their mouth. And they think they're going to heaven. Honeybees were the other ones. They love boiled honeybees. Okay. And this is bugs that they get from underneath the rocks that come in once or twice a year on the main river. And you turn the rock over and collect those bugs, and you fry them in mustard oil. They're not tasty. But anything you want, frogs, snakes, I don't know what kind of bugs there is there. Dog is a huge meat up there. I know children here think eat dog. The dog is a food to be eaten in India. They're raised for food purposes, not for pet purposes. This dog is tied off because he'd light the fire out if you got close to him. But eventually he becomes this meat you see in the next picture, and they cook them up. And it's just, you know, your culture that you live in. I saw a community running for independence. Got in all kinds of trouble with eating dog down somewhere on the news last week. This is our home with our school, and we've had it now. Keep building on it. You can see the school come together. We can hold, now we can hold about 350 kids. I need to get right and hold 500 kids. Y'all help me dig these wells, 200-something feet deep bore wells. We have plenty of fresh, clean water, and I think it'll never run out. You can see the school there. We built the second floor on the back side of that now to give us 8 more classrooms upstairs. Some of the pictures of the kids, I use modern furnishing to try to make it look like an American school, following American ideas as much as possible. You see some of the pictures. Preschool, kindergarten, sewing class, we taught them home economics, laboratories, library. This is many pictures. Computer room. These are some of our visually handicapped children, along with their teacher, Annalisa, and she does a good job with her. Our nursing station that we have in the school, we have a full charge nurse that stays in place there and takes care of the needs of the kids at the school. These are our latest pictures that we just got. I wasn't able to get individual pictures, but some of our latest pictures. I just got these in maybe 2 months ago, I guess. And this takes us all the way through class 10. This is where we go now. A lot of children. And these are add one more to this list. This is our college girls I have in college. They're in their 3rd year or 2nd year of college. Teaching is a 3-year program. So within about a year from now, most of these girls will come back and teach in my school. And these kids were little when I got them. All they know is me and Christianity and Bible, you know, and so they'll be very helpful in the school. And so I look forward to them graduating, coming back and working with us. Here's Roshan giving the Bible award out. We do this at the end of every semester to the students in the Bible classes. Baptism of some of our kids at some time in the past. It's my bus driver. I don't know whether he wanted to be baptized or not, but he got wet, didn't he? But our school buses that we have here, I actually could add another one, but I won't under my watch anyway. But we need to add another school bus. We do a lot of programs. The government makes you participate in things. They do it here too. It takes you away from your classroom study time, which I greatly treasure as a teacher. I want my classroom time. I don't want to be taken away for something else. But anyway, this is no tobacco day. I just got through doing this about a month ago, and then this is a year ago picture. And this man was brought to me. This is a good advertiser. Don't chew tobacco. Okay, nothing I could do for this fellow. I mean, he couldn't hardly get water down his throat. And within 2 weeks of me seeing him, he passed away. He just eaten out by cancer. Chewing, smoking, whatever you do, you don't want to do it. This is our new purpose building that we're building. It was like a 4-year project. Supposed to have been an 18-month project. With the pandemic, we really put clamps on. We just now got it totally finished. You can see it's a big building. It'll hold 500 people in this room right here. Okay, this is where our assemblies take place now. And during the rainy season, it's so good to be able to be indoors somewhere for the pledge to their flag and all the things that we do before school. But anyway, it's coming together. It's being prepared. You see the stadium, there's been a baptistry put in now on the back side of that. And you can see coming together. Here's the first assemblies of the boys. We started this school year assembling here, so this is good to have them all indoor. You can see the boys up front, I think the girls toward the back. But there's probably 250 kids and teachers standing there. And this is a picture of the building since we've got it painted. It's the Theopolis English Medium Christian School. On the side we have the Meow Road Church of Christ, because now we will meet there for our worship services and things. And this is a picture from the top of the multipurpose building where you can see the school, and in the background there you'll see the boys' hostel. This is an office in the new multipurpose building, a classroom, and so forth. And then the last one we built, and just finished it, is the Rainbow Hostel for Girls, the third one that we built, so we can hold another 100 girls. It's so important that I pick up another 150 paying students. If I do that, then the schools have sufficient funds to run the school without American money going there. And that's always been my plan. So you see it coming together. It's a big, big building. We can put 100, maybe a little bit more girls in there. Once we get it done, we'll put the rainbow themes on it, and then put our beds in. When I brought them to Sukia. And so forth. These are our crates that we just got them. It's been about 4 years shipping these crates, and a lot of trouble getting them. They sat in the Calcutta port for 3 or 4 months, just wrangling with them to get my crates. And, it's just all about paying them more money. That's what it's about. But anyway, we're glad to have them. And lots of clothing, lots of school supplies, lots of tools, books. It just makes a difference. Provides all of our school supplies for almost the entire school year. The amount of stuff that you guys send, and we send over there. But you can see it being unloaded by the boys. It takes time to unload these crates and so forth. And then they're allowed to go in and pick out 4 outfits each themselves for the clothing. A shopping day for them, Walmart, in the village. And so they enjoy doing that. Some of the girls, you can tell they all like hats, because they're all getting a hat. And this is my last slide. Any questions? How much time I have? 2 minutes? I did 175 flights.
That's not too bad. You should be an auctioneer when you get
No, I don't think so. I've got this if here, because these are what we need to get done so that I can turn this work over to India. I'm 70 now, would hope to retire by 71, 72 at the latest. And but these things, we have to do. I've got to add another 100 plus students, paying students. I've got probably 40% of my kids are totally free orphans. They will never pay. That's okay. That's what we want. That's what the church does. But I need the paying students to make a difference in the income. Then I've got to build one more boys' hostel. I think I'll have to get that built this coming trip to hold another 100 boys. I have a lot of people interested in sending their kids, but I don't have a bed for them. So I need to make more bed space. And then we need, of course, adequate income from sources. It runs me about $18,000 a month to run the work over there right now. Time to pay the teacher salaries and the food and all the costs that goes into running a school. And so we've got to get them where they're making that much on their side. Right now they're about maybe $8,000 a month at their age, which is great. Okay? But in the next year or so, we've got to get it on up. I think we'll be able to do that. And then I need the Indian government to leave me alone and not give me much trouble. Last time they only let me stay 6 weeks. It's not worth my time to go over there for 6 weeks. And I asked him for 12 weeks this time, but I have no idea until I get over there and meet the governor of the state what will happen. So please pray the government will let us get through our work. And when I turn this over to an Indian, it will be very helpful. Because they don't like Americans in India anymore. They don't like any Christians in India anymore. And they don't like Christian schools or Christian orphanages. And so once I get in the hands of the Indian, where they're not seeing American or American money, I think it'll be very helpful to the way the government will look at my school going forward. And then very last there, I've got to set up an emergency fund, but that's well on its way of being set up, so they'll have money to use for a couple of years after I retire and so forth. Any questions? See, you don't have a question?
God bless you.
Thank you. But I give her much credit to Cindy, but she makes it all happen from the home front. Been over with me several times, and she takes care of the money and the book work, which I don't have any desire to do. She's very helpful.
I know it's election season. Well, it always seems to be election season here. And who knows what's going to happen, but what about with the Indian government? Any possible changes coming up?
No, they just had their election this past year. Results were known back in March. And Modi crookedly has won again, a 5-year term. That'll be his 15 years, and he's destroying India. He's turning it totally socialism, pure socialism. And very much he's the one that's opposed to Christians in the country. He's trying to turn India totally back like it was before the British ever showed up. Like, it's not called India anymore, it's Bharat. If you look on a new map, it's not India, it's Bharat. They've gone back to an old name for their country, and they changed the name of all the cities, getting rid of any kind of British influence, which was really what built India from a primitive society to a modern society. But So it's a problem. Modi getting 5 more years, I'm not sure. It's going to be difficult for the Christians over the next few years. If we could ever get the Gandhi party back in power, they more believe in their constitution, which grants the right of freedom of religion. And I hear Modi speaking all the time. He always talks about how he believes in that. He doesn't believe in it at all. He's just lying, you know. Politicians don't lie, do they? Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right, we'll stop there. Thank you.